Have you had one of their burgers?
Yeah, I did. I did. I tell you, it was funny because I was looking at some of these girls that were fighting, and you've got, I believe it's Marnie Faulkner, and she's Hail the Kale, and there's all these sponsors with all these health foods. And then you produce Meet and Bun. I was thinking couldn't be anything better. I did actually go down there the other day to Mount Lawley. And I did get a message from Johnny Pavlos. Johnny just said, prize fighter Martene, she has to remind everyone that she's been eating in preparation for her big fight. All she's been eating is Meat and Bun for her strength and nutrition. So that's from Johnny. Meet and Bun, they are located at 609 Beaufort Street in Mount Lawley. That's my regular. They also are at 72 St George's Terrace. That's right there in the middle of town. And 3 Cantonment Street in Fremantle. I believe that's just where it hits, South Terrace. I've only been to the Mount Lawley one, and it is it is peachy down there. Staff, like we said before, staff are brilliant. They gave me this hat.
Yeah.
What does it say? Feed me burgers, call me pretty.
Tell me I'm pretty.
Beautiful. So they're our sponsors. They're your sponsor. How did you come about getting those guys for sponsors?
So Johnny,
regular customer.
Johnny and his wife Vanessa are friends with Katie, my partner. Yep. So, and Johnny has been sort of involved down at Nova for a while as well. He kind of like provides prizes, etc.
I did see some on their social media. I did see Nathan down there.
So Nathan and Johnny are best mates.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Nathan Morris, who's on the Breakfast Crew.
He lives around here.
He does. Yeah, he lives in Bayswater.
He's always down the end of our street getting sausage rolls from the 24 hour.
Really?
Yeah, nice and healthy.
Yeah, so he's a regular around here. But so Katie is friends with Johnny, and I obviously met Johnny through Katie. So, and he was really happy to be involved and sponsor me, knowing as well that Emmi was going to be kind of like the recipient of part proceeds, and he was really keen to get behind the Saba Rose Foundation as well. So,
beautiful. That's actually coming on. That leads in now. My first question that I've got for you, what brought you to the Perth Corporate Rumble? Because I was Glenn Austin is actually the one that advised me that you were fighting, and it was great to see you down there. And so, just do you want to explain us a bit more about Emmi, your niece Emmi? Yeah.
So Emmi, unfortunately, has a rare neurodevelopment disorder. She was diagnosed at 1.5 years, so about 22 months. At that stage, GRIM1, which is the disorder, there was probably only about 77 people worldwide that had been diagnosed with it. So extremely rare, and that obviously makes it even more frustrating for her parents with not really having a lot of information on the disorder.
Is there anyone else in Australia with it?
I think there might be one other person over east. So over the last couple of years, through research and networking, Emmi's parents have sort of made connections with other people worldwide who have the disorder, and there's probably about 100 people now that they're in contact with.
Oh, that's all right. So there's a bit of a community there.
There is a little tiny community. So Emmi's disorder, GRIM1, involves both physical and intellectual disabilities. So she's non-mobile and non-verbal. She unfortunately has seizures, sleep disturbances. She's gastric tube fed. She has dystonia, global developmental delay. So the whole package itself is extremely confronting. But she's a warrior, and she fights every day, and she does some of her rehab down at Rehab Me through the Saba Rose Foundation with Tristan Hunter. So I
saw some videos of her doing some physio.
So she works super hard down there, and that obviously helps her. So being able to support Emmi through the PCR, the part proceeds will just be massive for her and her family, and they're extremely grateful and humbled for Emmi to be chosen. They're going to have to make some pretty big home modifications. She's turning 4 in January.
Okay.
So they're going to have to put in a lift and for wheelchair purposes, and just to make it safe for her. Yeah. She's full-time care, and it's just, it's obviously heartbreaking, and but her family are fantastic. She's got such a beautiful family, and her aunties and her grandparents support Beck and Joel, Emmi's parents. And yeah, she's a beautiful girl.
And sorry, how many did you say there was worldwide?
So at the moment, approximately 100. So
100.
minimal numbers, and there's just not a lot of research into it. So
No.
long term, there's not many answers at the moment.
Is there any? I know with certain conditions, if the numbers are that low, and if you said 100 worldwide, that is extremely low. Any government assistance or recognition of the condition?
Yeah, I mean, once you're getting a diagnosis is the tough part.
Yeah.
So
because how would they look for that? Did they originally put her in a different category or? Yeah,
so she crosses over at times with I guess the symptoms that she displays in the beginning. It was just like traumatic for the family, not knowing what was wrong with her. And she was presenting with many different kind of symptoms, the main one being the global developmental delay. So her progress was snail's pace. And as a sort of as a 3-year-old, so turning 4, she can just sit up. That's all she can do.
Oh, okay.
So as you know, if you've got kids, they go through development phases from laying on their tummy to crawling to sitting up. And she really didn't sort of progress at the rate she should have initially. And then you obviously start seeing specialists to find out what's going on. And then there's genetic testing and you get
so many tests. You must have been
tests, and it's the testing becomes an international based thing, and you have the waiting game is just phenomenal. So seeing the family go through that, it was heartbreaking. And then you don't always get a diagnosis, and that's the thing.
Inconclusive
There's so
is
many
probably
people,
worse, isn't it?
There's so many people out there that have kids in that situation, babies or whatever, and they just don't know what's going on. But then, the family obviously got the diagnosis, and tragic, heartbreaking, but at least they knew. And
a bit of a relief on top of it, bittersweet.
Bittersweet, of course. But as I said, it's a challenge every day, and they work hard to support Emmi, and they give her the best life that they can. And as I said, she works hard with her rehab, and she makes progress.
Okay, and the assistance that this Perth Corporate Rumble is going to be, what is that? Is that going to be more directed at making her transition back into her house?
Yes.
Going to make that a bit easier?
Yeah, 100%. So obviously as they get bigger, they grow, and she's quite tall. So she's not yet wheelchair bound, but the reality is that she probably will be. So accessing a house and modifying it so that it's accessible for a wheelchair and for Emmi to be safe in that environment, that's where the money hopefully will go towards that gets fundraised.
Okay. It's just how vulnerable you feel when you have kids. You don't realise how lucky that we've got it when you have, I suppose, a healthy kid. And I think so many people take it for granted when you see, a young girl like Emmi and her condition. So
the other aspect to it as well is that Beck's about to have another baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they've got baby number 2 on the way, which is awesome for them. And for Emmi to have a little sibling. So having a baby is also going to make it challenging as well to care for Emmi at the same time.
So Emmi was the first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's why the home modification is going to be important.
With regards to a wheelchair being inevitable, is that because the developmental delay just means she'll never walk, she'll be in a wheelchair? Correct. Or is it a degenerative aspect?
No, it's not regressive.
Okay.
But GRIM 1, unfortunately, there's a couple of different types of GRIN.
Is it GRIN, Grin?
Yes.
Is it? That's the name of the condition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Emmi's, there's GRIN 1, there's GRIN 2, I think. And unfortunately for GRIN 1 individuals, they don't walk. So she does lots of her rehab involves treadmill work and trying to create those neuro pathways, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
So when you see like the vision at Sava Rose when she's at Rehab Me, she's on a treadmill in a harness and they're, I guess, trying to stimulate her brain and make those connections.
Is there ever talk of, I'm definitely not an expert on any of this stuff, but anything like stem cell, I know that would anything like that be of assistance?
I'm not too sure about that, to be honest, but as I said, I guess without having the medical research and the information and the specialists, they really haven't been able to give Beck and Joe, her parents, a lot of information because they just don't know because they've got nothing to go on with only 100 people worldwide. So, yeah, of course, that's the long-term goal is for her to be able to walk and be mobile, and that's what they work towards every day.
I suppose with the way science and everything's going as well, you've got to, in a way, you have to be confident that things are going to...
keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So she works hard to, build those neuro pathways up and as I said, she does. Sometimes there'll be a movement or she'll do something and you go, geez, she's making progress. It's kind of like snail's pace.
Yeah.
But
But it's still moving forward.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, geez, that's full on.
Yeah, it is full on.
Geez, that is
full on.
So, are you right to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, get a bit emotional.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's full on.
Okay. All right, we'll have to edit this without me getting emotional. Okay, so the thought of getting in a boxing ring, for me, it's not the most appealing thing. I think I'm getting a bit too old. So what? I understand just going through all your all of the condition regarding Emmi. Is that the main reason that you wanted to be part of this?
Look, at the stage of speaking, or putting in an application, I guess, to do it, I didn't. The Emmi scenario came about post getting accepted.
Oh, so this was after you put your hand up.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I did know that the Saba Rose Foundation was the main charity.
Yeah.
So little Owen, who was the previous kid
from last year.
From the last
yeah, I remember in April.
Yeah, so his uncle is Jared Schofield, and he was my head coach at Subi.
Oh,
so
yeah, of
I
course
knew
he
that
was.
family quite well, and knowing Emmi was at Saba Rose, doing her rehab through Rehab Me, that was sort of part motivation, knowing that was a charity. But I'd also kind of spent a good 15 years coaching elite footy, and I hadn't really done a lot for myself in a long time. So I knew a couple of people that had done it previously, and I thought it might be a good thing for me to do something for myself and set some goals. And I'd always loved boxing, never boxed, but loved boxing.
Fought. I've seen that.
Let's not talk about that.
It's a funny thing. I was thinking last night. I remember when you and I met. Jesus, that was 2006.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And I do remember me. No, 2005. 2005. And I remember first time I saw you, and you were playing for the Coastal Titans, for footy. And what are you folding your arms for? You know what's coming. You know what's coming. And I remember seeing you, and I just thought, there's no way I want to be friends with this girl, because you were playing for the opposition team. And then I don't know what happened. We started chatting, and we hit it off quite well. And I tried so hard not to like you, and I just went, no, you're right. You're right. Geez, that was a while back.
It's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago. Geez,
well, it's very different back then.
Yeah, very aggressive. But no, we don't.
Fiery.
We don't catch up enough. What does your family say about this whole boxing scenario? Because it must be daunting, especially for a daughter or for a partner to actually, because it's not. They're not mucking around in there, are they?
No. Look, that was probably another part of the motivation for me to do it. So I grew up in the UK, and
whereabouts? I love it.
You already know this.
Every time I talk about the UK, Var gets into me. Whereabouts? I don't actually know. I don't know.
I grew up in Essex, and my dad and my dad's family and my mum, they were from the east end of London. So my dad boxed.
Whereabouts?
From Bethnal Green.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
we did talk about this the other day.
My dad boxed and my granddad boxed. So I watched a lot of boxing growing up, and over there it's massive boxing. So my dad's pretty happy about me doing this. Mum, not so much. But, I know, like, my granddad's not here anymore, but I know he'd be pretty proud of me for doing it. So we got brought up in a family that was very traditional, and we certainly got educated about being able to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
So
that was obvious first time I met you.
yeah, so I haven't done any boxing, but I've certainly been shown how to box.
So they would have been boxing in Eastern London in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough area.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you did as a young boy growing up. You boxed, and that's how you defended yourself. And, you know, the traditional way was if you had an issue with someone, you went outside and fought it out with your fists.
Now you just get on Instagram and just troll them for a while, don't you?
So yeah, family-wise, my dad's really supportive.
That's
and
great.
happy. And mummy's now, but she was a bit funny about it.
A bit hesitant at the start. Yeah, I have seen. I only came down for the first time to meet you guys probably a couple of weeks ago, and I knew that some people were taking it seriously, but there's no mucking around. People aren't in there to make up the numbers, and the progress is because I've been watching some videos of you guys lately. The technique and everything is unbelievable now. So who's your coach? You know, you blue team or red team?
I'm red.
Red.
I'm on the red team with Nigel.
Nige?
So, yeah.
Big Nige?
Really happy about that. And we've got a good group of girls that will.
Is that because of all the bad things you were saying about Glenn before?
Not at all.
Yeah. All right. So you're on the red team.
I'm on the red team, yeah. I'm fighting Olivia.
Okay, because we actually worked this out the other week. See how above your name there, it's actually blue?
Yeah, that was just, I think that everyone kind of comments about that. Yeah, it was a throw.
Yeah, that's from me.
We're geniuses.
I know.
Yeah.
We worked out that
it's all been very
fighters.
secret squirrels.
Is
so, yeah, and the boys, you know, I think it's been really challenging picking matchups, and we lost a girl, Steph, along the way, unfortunately.
Oh, did we? What was there? What happened there?
She unfortunately got injured and has got a stress fracture in her hip, so she's unable to continue, but hopefully we'll be back to fight in the next PCR.
Oh, Stephanie Rocket.
Steph Rocket,
Steph Rocket, the pocket rocket.
Yeah, so it's
okay.
Yeah, we're really sort of sad that she's not going to be there, but yeah, that happened.
You must be. It must be to go from. Obviously, everyone is already quite fit.
Yeah.
But the strain on the body, the injuries must be because the training is pretty intense.
Yeah.
So because how many times do you guys train a week?
So you're expected to train at least sort of. Well, we train Tuesday night. We were training Tuesday night, Thursday night, and then Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and then to do one other one outside of that. So, look, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a complete shock to my system when I first started. And I went down kind of a month before the 8-week block started to Anarchy to start doing some classes because I hadn't boxed before, like as in pad work, etc. And I had no idea. So,
because are you the oldest one in the
out the girls?
Yeah,
by a fair bit. So I kind of went down there. I thought I need to sort of start, doing some pad work. And there was a few of the girls down there who had been training for a fair few years that were doing PCR, and I just went, oh my God.
Oh, they've already got it behind them.
Oh, I was like, what have I got myself into here? I couldn't keep up. I didn't understand the terminology when the boys were running the classes. I'm still not the best on the pads, but I feel more confident when I'm in the ring sparring.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did that, and you start conditioning yourself because it is a massive jump in loading. So for me, being 45, hate saying that.
You look wonderful for your age.
For 45, I train for work purposes, to be strong and to be fit. But running on a treadmill and lifting some weights is certainly not comparable to boxing.
Yeah.
So I manage myself well, but to say initially the soreness and. Yeah, I had some niggles, so I feel a lot stronger now, and it's tough. The training's tough, but I feel the fittest I've been in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Have you had to make adjustments to diet, or you're pretty happy with your diet?
Yeah, I think.
Look at you going for it there. That's your partner,
Katie? We're on holiday down south.
And you pull out the boxing glove.
Well, I'd booked it a long time before I knew I was going to be doing it, so I missed out on a week's training. So we got up and I made sure I got onto the pads every day just so I didn't get behind. But Glenn wasn't happy with it. He's like, you need to lift.
Lift the arms
wasn't
up.
right.
Yeah.
So the training's been phenomenal and a massive challenge diet-wise. I had to eat a lot more food, so I had to increase my food uptake because you're on a weight kind of limit, and I didn't want to lose weight knowing that I was going to be fighting against a girl that's heavier than me anyway.
Do you know the place to get all your nutritional needs that's
Where's
also
that?
delicious?
Is it Meet and Bun?
It is Meet and Bun. What a coincidence.
The best burgers in WA.
They are. I had one of those. They're like a black burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Johnny knows I'll be in there after I've fought.
Oh, you will be
consume
smashing some burgers.
But yeah, he's got 3 places, Johnny Pavlos and Vanessa. They've got 3 shops, one in Perth, one Mount Lawley and one Freo, and they've been very generous and kind in sponsoring me and supporting the cause. So
Beautiful.
Can't thank them enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you are eating more now than you were before?
Yeah, I had to. Well, when I first started, it was pretty obvious through the loading and the training frequency that I was dropping a little bit of body fat. So my weight started going down.
But you were never big.
No, I'm tall and lanky, and I just have to be careful. Once you start training like an elite athlete, pretty much, you just need to make sure that you're putting in, the right amount so you don't lose too much weight, because the reality was for me that out of all the tools, I was the lightest.
Yeah.
And we didn't know at the time who we were fighting, but we were weighing in each week, and the tools probably had about 4 kilos.
They call you the talls.
We're the talls, yeah. So I didn't want to lose too much weight because weight equals power. So and you feel that when you're sparring. You've got Rach, who's the tallest out of all of us, and she can pack a punch.
Loves going to the beach.
She can pack a punch, and you feel the intensity of the punches when they come through. So I certainly didn't want to lose power either. So I've tried to maintain the same sort of weight, and
It must be a better problem to have, though, to maintain weight and be able to eat more than to have to cut weight.
Oh, yeah.
Eating good food, but just making sure that I'm eating enough.
Like
And for the energy, because you need it when you're training.
Yeah.
So
I said, Asen had Macca's on the way in the other day.
All
That's
right,
why I was late. Nice one, Mason. He's probably got his shirt off at this point.
haven't eaten any bad food like that, and you got to cut the booze out.
Yeah.
That's been tough.
Every single person that I've spoken to when I've spoken about the drinks has just said, "No, we're off the booze." Everyone.
Yeah.
I
Look,
couldn't believe it.
I've been super good because I kind of enjoy a glass of red when I'm having my dinner every now and then, during the week. And I'm not a massive drinker, but on Sunday I went and had a drink at the pub.
We'll just edit
Just
that
one.
bit out, okay?
Just one.
Just one. How'd that one go down?
Yeah. It was really nice. Really nice to have a drink. But, I've been super disciplined, and I feel like I've put on a little bit of muscle, and that's what I wanted to achieve. So I've got 4 weeks to go, so it's not that long.
I did notice even the last couple of weeks I did definitely notice a difference in your build when you came in. So but and who's your partner? Who's your opponent going to be?
So my opponent is Olivia, the Machine.
Oh, jeez, when your
So I
partner's
nicknamed
got
her. Yeah, we had to come up with our fight names, and I nicknamed her. I'm not sure whether she's probably chosen.
Oh, there she is.
There she is. So she's a machine, Olivia, and
Machine.
I've got lots of admiration for her because when I first walked in to the gym, the cat on my back. When I first walked into the gym, she was in the very first class that I did, and I saw her, and she just stands out. She's about 5'11". She's supremely fit, and she works. Her work ethic is massive. So she trains the most out of all the girls, and she looks like she's a killer.
Okay.
How would you say that surname? Would it
St-
rhyme with?
Streline? I actually don't have.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might rhyme with machine. That's why.
There you go.
Is that
That's
it?
clever.
Olivia the
Strelane.
Machine
Yeah.
Strelane. Very good.
So I admire her very much. She's everything that I want
Not
to
what
be.
you were saying before. You were
Everything I want to be. I would.
You were
Yeah.
trash talking her before. You were calling her.
I was not.
But was she?
Bradley.
Okay, so your fitness levels, you mentioned before you haven't boxed before.
No.
Do you reckon you're going to are you enjoying it, I suppose, the main thing?
Yeah, there's been lots of, positives so far. The group of people that are in the gym doing PCR, guys and girls, are great people.
Yeah.
It was really nice for me to get back into kind of like an elite environment and train again. I'd played, professional basketball for my whole kind of like from a young age through to my early 30s. So I know how to train in an elite environment. The body didn't always want to go there, but it's been really nice meeting new people. The program that Glenn and Nigel put out is professional. They're both gentlemen. They're both grumpy at times. They create a really great team environment, and it's super enjoyable, challenging, and you can just set really, strong goals for yourself to achieve. They fast track you. So obviously there's lots of girls that haven't boxed. Some have. And they cater for everyone's abilities. So, yeah, they're really caring, genuine guys.
That is, isn't it? Those guys there, they just have that culture down there at Anarchy. I know. It's so good. It's just for you.
My one vice, Diet Coke.
Oh, no, I was talking about the stubby holder.
Yeah, the knuckle dust.
That's what you should put inside your glove. Put inside your glove. The machine can't cop that. All right, I was going to ask, I did see Glenn and Nigel in there with some of the training videos, and they were actually sparring with some of the fighters, and I do understand that being hit for the first time isn't a lot of people have never been hit, and I think that one of their main concerns was if someone does get hit during the event and it's the first time, they can often panic and just go into a shell.
Yeah.
So that's why they're exposing it. When I say hit them, they're not going to. I mean, Glenn and Nigel are both excellent boxers. They're not going to go in there and hurt anyone in headgear, but they are exposing people to what it's like to be hit. So have you, prior to this, have you ever been I know the answer. I know the answer to this. I know, because I've seen you play footy.
Yeah.
So have you been hit before?
I'd be lying if I said I haven't been in a couple of scraps in my younger years. Getting hit was something that, look, it doesn't really bother me massively getting hit, but it is super unnatural, like the feeling when I first started in boxing, and the defensive side of it is what the guys focus on, and that's probably something that I know that is a weakness of me, for me.
Because you're always on the attack? Pretty
much, and I guess I'm just my natural kind of stance and the way that I box when I'm sparring, I tend to lower my gloves a little bit. So that's something that I know that I need to work on, and Glenn highlights that every 5 seconds, which is important, So that will be a focus over the next 4 weeks for me, definitely. But, yeah, the unnatural feeling in the beginning, it was like, geez, it rattles you. So I'm certainly getting more used to it, and you see it with the girls. They're a lot more resilient now to getting clipped. So, but, yeah, it's something that probably fires me even more when I get clipped.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Have any of the sparring sessions gotten a bit heated? Has anybody landed on their ass yet?
Look, there's not real. There's been it's hard to find a balance when you're sparring someone of how hard are we going to go. The boys, Glenn and Nigel are always kind of really supportive of not going 100%, which is you don't want to hurt anyone.
About 80%, isn't that what they normally say?
Yeah, but it's hard to sort of figure out what's your 80% and what's my 80%, So you see some of the girls, they go a bit harder. They might have had a bad morning or whatever. And
that felt like 100.
Yeah. And everyone's got different abilities.
Yeah.
And you see different resilience levels, I guess. But my kind of thought process from the beginning has always been you train like you play.
That would be the hard thing.
Yeah, so in saying that, I certainly don't go 100%. I will on the night when we fight.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, but I just, mine's sort of been more, my thought process when I'm sparring is about being more evasive and technique based and combinations and what works for me, my movement. And so that's kind of been my focus of what I wanted to get out of the sparring.
Yeah.
So you try and work to what your strengths are. Look, the reality is I've got the longest reach out of all the girls.
Yeah.
So I try and use that to my advantage, my jab. And
okay.
Yeah.
Who thought of a nickname? Come on.
Yes. So
This will be good.
I kind of have had a nickname for...
I've got a nickname for you behind your back.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've had a nickname through footy for a long time, and it was just, I guess, coincidental. It works well with the fact that I'm the oldest boxer out of all the girls. So the footy girls have called me Foss.
The fossil.
The fossil.
The fossil. You're not that old.
Oh, well, the reason why they nicknamed me the Foss, Foss, they call me Foss, Fossil, is because I kind of potentially acted a bit younger than my age over the years, and which I think is a good thing.
Oh, it's definitely.
Young at heart.
We do.
Yeah, so I've always thought that I was younger than what I was, and they called me Foss. And
Foss.
it carried on over into the gym because Cara Antonio, she was the main fight from the last PCR. And
Is that Juddy?
That's Juddy,
Yeah.
And
I met her. I did meet her the other day. Oh, she can fight.
Yeah, she's tough.
Jeez.
She's tough.
She's captain of the Dockers?
She's the captain of the Freo Dockers. Yep. But I've coached her a lot over the years, and I was involved with women's footy. And I was obviously at Freo as well for a couple of seasons. So we're good friends, and she knew my nickname was Foss. And so the Foss came out in the gym, and the Foss it is.
Okay. Martene, the Foss versus the machine.
Well, I don't know what Olivia's nickname is, but I call her the machine.
It'll be the machine.
Can I just ask, how old were you when you acquired the Foss?
When did I start coaching all these? Probably in my mid-30s.
People can be cruel.
That is so bad.
You're born in 76?
I was, yes.
Yeah, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm way younger. I'm so much younger.
That would hurt me. That would be like,
even went as
if I
far-
started copying the Foss in my 30s,
I know.
I don't mind if someone... Well, my kids pull the piss out of me now, but...
I was playing... When I first started coaching, I was on the elite pathway for women's footy coaching. So I was coaching like the state teams, and I was in charge of the talent academy back then, a long time ago. And it was around the time when the AFLW, that was like full steam ahead with coming in. And they were celebrating 100 years of women's footy, and there was a photo that was just like
100 years of women's footy. That's been going for 100 years.
Yeah, 100 years of women's footy. And so there was a photo that got put onto social media of a women's team over east, and they were in like skirts, and their uniform was like a dress almost for playing. And one of the girls superimposed my head on one of the on one of the players, and so and that's how the Foss kind of generated. Because I was still playing footy, and I was playing against some of those young girls, and they just thought that I thought that I could still do what I do when I was younger. But anyway, hopefully it's a bit different in the ring.
Yeah, well, it will be interesting. I'm going to be there.
Nice.
I'm coming.
Age brings a lot of positives as well. Experience and being balanced and resilient.
I hope so. Any walkout music?
Yeah, so Katie chose the song for me, my partner. She's obviously on the radio, and I had no idea of songs and what to choose. And
is it what is it? It's going to be so good. What is it?
It's Boss Bitch. Do you know that
song?
By
who sings that?
Deja Cat.
You know Deja Cat?
I'm about to.
Yeah. So
here we go.
That's the one. Doja Cat, that's it, sorry. It's got a bit of a beat to it.
That is so good.
I just wanted something that was a bit,
that's good.
Lively.
Yeah. It'd have to be awkward choosing your walkout music, wouldn't you?
Look, I'm not really into this walkout thing, but, yeah, it's obviously a bit nerve-wracking, and so
it's part of the show, part of the fanfare.
It is part of the show.
You've got to be pumped, though.
Well,
how are you going to go with nerves? Well, everyone there.
You know me pretty well. I'm pretty good in pressure situations, so I'll be fine.
I reckon you do well. I don't know how I'd go. I reckon I'd struggle, to be honest.
I've played some pretty big games of basketball in front of big crowds and been involved in, coaching grand finals, and so you've got to stay pretty balanced. So I feel, it's going to be full on, but I think that's one of my strengths.
How many rounds are you scheduled for, do you know?
3 2-minute rounds. Okay. Yeah.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
6. We've wrestled together, just mucking around before, and after about 30 seconds, we're both gassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how tired you get.
100%.
Of
There's
just,
no doubt
just
about
doing
it.
this, just dancing around an opponent.
And that's not even getting hit.
Yeah.
So you get gassed out just due to physical activity. Sorry, the cat's still going on.
I think the adrenaline kicks in and you just go hell for leather and you get gassed and like that. The reality is that's Olivia's strength. She's going to be able to go for 10 rounds because she's super fit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's something that I'm working on, my fitness and my cardio's increased. I feel good. So
do you get coached on breathing? Like, do they remind you to breathe?
Yeah, they've spoken a little bit about that.
Yeah.
That's something that I think, is common sense as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Because I think I'd hold my breath, which is the worst possibly.
It's common sense, but we forget to do it in hypertense situations. So, yeah.
Okay, last thing. Win or lose, what do you hope to come away with it at the end of this thing? Sorry. After you win.
Yeah. Look, it's obviously a massive achievement going through.
Massive.
Yeah, going through the training program and popping out at the end. Fitter, stronger, meeting new people. That's been massive. Like the group of girls are just phenomenal people. Like we've become really close and it's been really hard over the last 24 hours because we've had to split into red and blue.
There's no real egos there either, is there? Well, not that I've seen.
No, not at all. And I was really kind of, you're a bit unsure when you first go into something like that. Some of the girls have been training at the gym for a long time at Anarchy, but everyone has just been super supportive of each other, and different girls have had different niggles along the way the first 4 weeks, and so friendships are going to come from it, which is awesome at the end. But for me, it's been tough managing my life with the training and work and my son Harry, and so coming out of it, win or lose, being able to do something for myself and I just think it helps your mental health as well, exercising all the time like that and getting a lot out of it. So I feel like I'm in pretty good nick for my age, and I'm pretty proud of what I've achieved so far. So hopefully by the end, I've got another 4 weeks to taper off and get ready for the fight. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I tell you, it takes a lot more.
Do you reckon you'll retain some of the training routine after the fight? Like, is there stuff that you've seen you liked and you're going, I think I'm going to keep doing this?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was very kind of routined with being at work and training, and I'm a member of a gym, so I do kind of go to the gym as well. But I've really loved doing the boxing classes. Like, it's just a high intensity workout. So I'm going to be down at Anarchy for sure, membership, and then I've already got a membership there, but to get into it as being my main kind of like fitness outlet, definitely. And it's something that I feel like, once you've realised and you've kind of like made some changes, it's something that I definitely want to maintain. So I'll be down there, and I love the environment there, and the classes are awesome, and the people, and so I feel very comfortable there now.
Well, that's great. Well, like I said, you're better than me. I don't know if I could get in the ring, to be honest, and do it. So
you sell yourself short.
No, I don't think I could. I think I'd bet against myself and then take a fall in first. Well, thank you very much, Martene. It is always a pleasure. We do not do this enough. And 4 weeks away, Perth Corporate Rumble, October 2, I believe it is.
Yep.
Perth Grand Ballroom, black tie. Everyone's going to be looking sweet. Mm-hmm. We wish you all the best for that, Martene, and hopefully you come in here after to celebrate your victory.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.